Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, a really long while. I just, I'm gonna talk more about it as this video goes along, but I've been going through a lot, and a lot of it has to do with my trading and my mindset and just life. And it hit me hard. Everything hit me hard. So, anyway, welcome back. This is my trade recap for today, May 31st, 2024. I'm starting up just by marking up my charts. You guys know I keep it really simple. If you know, I have, I should say this. In the time that I was gone, I've taken the time to kind of figure out what exactly I want to do repeatedly. What is my strategy? How am I marking up my charts? And so I keep it really simple. Just open, high, low, and close of the daily, most recent dailies around the time where price is, or where price currently is, and I just do the same thing over and over again. And as you can see, this, I want to call out this level here that I marked out, the 18486.50. That's where my TP is going to be. That's the level I'm targeting. I'm going to target it just a little bit higher. So I ended up targeting 18490, but yeah, that's my TP. So I start by taking a trade. I knew I wanted to sell after marking up my chart. Of course, the market has been selling heavy. So I entered to sell, but I somehow felt like I was being too premature. So I closed. And it was also the wrong contract size that I wanted to use. So I closed. And then I entered another one and I closed again. Like so much indecision. So much indecision. I entered again. And even though I felt like, okay, price is going to start, I just felt like it was too premature. I needed to get a better entry. That's how I felt. I just felt like, even though it seemed like it might go my way, I don't know that I feel like this was more so an impulse entry. So that's another thing I needed to define. Now, if I followed my rules to the T, I would move that entry a little bit, which I ended up doing. I looked at the chart, and then I said like 486, but I wanted to go a little bit higher. 546, 18546 would have been my entry because that's where my line is. But with the way price was moving and market just opening, I wanted to go higher to that, where that is, around that 560 area. So that's where I decided to sell from. So I decided to go back to my charts and close this sell and then set a sell limit and wait for price to activate that sell limit. So looking at this, I'm like, nah, it's time to close. I closed it. I decided to set that set limit around that 560 area, which my entry ended up being, I think, at like 559. Yeah, 75, close enough, same difference. And I just basically waited for price to get to that level or activate me into my entry. And almost there. And boom, just like that, price tagged me in. And we are in this trade. Price seems to be moving in my direction. It is dropping. I am happy, or at least it looks that way. So yeah, we're in the trade. We're in the trade now. Price decides to play around a little bit. At this point, I'm here, but I'm not really paying attention. I think I was watching a movie. Yeah, last night I was watching a movie with my sister. So that's what I spent my time doing. Just letting the trade play out. It did go about almost 30 points in profit and then decided to pull back on me. if not more than 30 points actually, about 32 points. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, price is still going down. It's not done. It looks like it will also pull up, but I was so sure. Excuse me. I was so sure the price is going down, but yeah, it did that. Price went back up. Price went back to my entry, and I felt like a fool because I was 32 points in. 32 points with 2 contracts. You know, is how much? 32 times 40? That is 1,280. I could have closed it down there and then, waited for another entry, but I wasn't even paying attention, if I was being honest. I was not paying much attention. So by the time I saw it, price had already came back to entry, and I was shook it. But something about the way that you see that red candle, it was completely red. The break, it was like there was no wick on top, there was no wick on the bottom of that candle, of that 15-minute. I'm on the 15-minute time frame. And you can see like there was no wick there. I like where I have my stop loss above that high, right at the top of that high, or little high. So I'm just waiting for price to do its thing. At this point, it is a little, I'm definitely, I can put it aside at this point. I'm definitely not watching. I'm watching my movie. Let me start. I'm watching a movie and just let price do its thing. I think price did dance around for a while before it finally went in my direction. We're just gonna let it play out here. As you can see, price was playing around a bit. If someone were to be a trend line trader, you would have kind of seen like that from that line of 508 going up. You would have kind of seen that imaginary trend line there and wanted to kind of take a trade off of that trend line. I don't trade like that. I did something on another account. That's why it went flickered like that. So it's still the same account, same trade. Trend line traders now see a 3-point touch on a trend line right now, if you put it the way my eyes are visualizing it. But for me, I should say that I'm used to the trailing drawdown with Apex and other companies that use it, but I think that I work best without the trailing drawdown. I think that's where I find the most peace. So I'm just trying to find the courage to get through majority of the trailing drawdown so that I can be okay with after my PA has gone static. So when you make that, withdrawal threshold of 2,600 on a 50K account, and then your account goes static, so that's kind of what I always look forward to, because I don't like the trailing drawdown. Anyway, price decided to finally come down after that playing a little bit, and I don't know around what time. Okay, so it's currently 2:30 a.m. and it ends up eating my TP at some point. I don't know what time. I know it seems like, why are you targeting below? As I mentioned earlier, that 490 is just 4 or 5 points above my green line on TradingView. I don't draw the same lines here simply because my brain doesn't work the same way. If my chart is not marked up on TradingView, it doesn't read the same way to me. I don't know what it is. My brain works backwards on that. So I've been trying to just keep it pretty much whatever my markup is on TradingView. I can trade on any platform execution wise, but the plan, it has to happen on TradingView. And as you can see, it looks like there's a reaction to a very, very old line. This line, red line, has been there. It's EG indicators of their trigger point lines. This is from May 8th, so that line is not really valid, but there's still some reaction around that area. If you don't know, I believe their indicators are AI generated levels as to where a market might react. I should also mention that I finally updated the indicator to May 31st, but I did that for the New York morning. So you'll see it in a little bit. I traded after market open. I have a meeting in the mornings, as some of you guys may know from my previous videos. So after my meeting this morning, I decided to trade some more, just a little bit. Price is playing around, but going back to what I was trying to say earlier, I've been going through a lot. I went through, it's like after the end of March, April and May were months from hell, trading wise. I must have blown over 100 accounts trying to pass an eval. And in those 2 months, I could not. Also, my laptop screen broke, so recording became a chore. Just before all of that happened, like beginning of April, I decided to travel. So recording was already difficult. But coming back into, my routine and everything back into my life, it just felt as though not one thing was going well. And I mean that. I mean everything that felt like it could go wrong, felt like it was going wrong. It's like I didn't know how to trade anymore. I had a strategy, but I felt like it wasn't I was struggling. I've been struggling, and it was the worst low I'd been in since I ever started trading. So years ago, and I've never had such a month where I couldn't pass an eval. That made no sense. So the month of April and May, I made 0 payouts and could not pass an eval. So it was like blow on top of blow. And I blew so many accounts trying to pass. Everything I did was just not right. It was wrong. I felt like the way I was breathing was wrong. I mean, there was nothing you could have told me. Everything was wrong. See, this went into profit about 40 points and then pull back on me again. Thank God I was sleeping at this time, so I didn't know what the heck was going on. I would have panicked at this point because this is a trailing drawdown and it must have went at least 1,500 in profit. Now it's going back up to entry. And if it hits my stop loss, that's not going to be pretty. But on the bright side, I wasn't worried. I was going to let the trade play out because I was sleeping, so I wasn't watching it. So yeah, that's why I've been gone, guys. It's just been very, very difficult to do anything, to trade. So I had to, in those 2 months, this past 2 months, I literally had to go back to the drawing board. And I mean that. I mean like all the way back to the drawing board. What is my process? What is my step-by-step strategy? I needed to redefine everything. I felt like I needed to relearn myself. I needed to find new meaning, find reasons to not give up trading because I almost gave up in those 2 months. I've never had such months that felt like complete failure in every single thing that I did. Even when it felt like one thing was going right, I had multiple accounts that got to literally within 200 of passing the eval and blew it. Nothing made sense, and I know everything sounds like psychology, but in the moment, identifying those emotions on those days, figuring out what was going wrong, Ramadan was happening. I mean, like, just everything was wrong. Everything. In the beginning of that, it's just, now towards this time that this month is ending, I think I finally, if it did one thing, it just let me, or giving me the opportunity to fully come back and just iron out my strategy. Literally, price came, as you can see on the screen, I'm going back and forth. But as you can see on the screen, price came within like, I don't know, less than 5 points of my stop loss. And now it's going back in profit my way. And I believe this is the drop that finally hit my my TP, but we'll see. So yeah, when I like to think I'm back now, I don't know. I'm still figuring out a few things about my strategy and how I want to trade. One thing I would like to keep consistent is my size. And even though I've tried defining how I want to do things multiple times, nothing has permanently stick. So again, struggling still trying to finalize, fine tune. But right now, I think I got a strategy, not finalizing or fine tuning my strategy. I'm just keeping that the same. I'm just trying to figure out around my risk management, how I want to keep things consistent, so to speak. I want to trade with the same size and target the same stop loss and TP, and be okay even with or without trailing drawdown. Even if price goes within 1 point of my TP and then reverses all the way back, I want to make sure that I'm using a size that's small enough that doesn't knock me out of the trade. I don't know if that makes sense, but at some point in the future, I may do a full video of exactly my strategy and my risk management plan once I figure out, feel like I know what I'm doing, because I just went through a period of not knowing what I'm doing at all. And so even though I'm back, I still have a lot of doubt. I still am going through a lot of emotions around just finding my groove. Just as real talk, guys, this is as real as it gets. This is one of the most trying moments and periods of my life. I feel like I prayed a lot. I prayed to God to tell me if this path is for me. I'm sure I'd be doing something else. Like, I've been putting a lot of work into this, a lot of money, a lot of time. And it just, a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of work, a lot of prayer. And those 2 months felt like it was the time to quit. I don't know if finally making it through and not quitting is the validation that I needed. I don't know. All I know is today I'm taking it one day at a time, finding the will to keep going, even when things get rough, and just be patient with myself. Yeah. I think that's it. Watching this trade back, I would have closed this if I was awake. It was probably a good idea that I wasn't awake, because the way price is yo-yoing around this area, I would have been sure in my head that price was not breaking that level and that I should close. But I'm glad I was sleeping, because this was a $2,500 profit. Boom, TP hit. And just like that, $2,500 banked. And now I'm still sleeping. So now I'm going to wait. You'll see, I have another indicator called price action, and that tells you entries based on the time frame that you have open. So it's telling me basically to buy at this point. If I was awake and I saw this, I would have entered a buy, but I wasn't awake. So, yep. Price literally came to that line that I had at 486 and then bounced back up. That's why, like I said, I figured out what works for me, especially with NQ. I do not trade anything else. I only trade NQ. So all of that is giving me confidence that I need to keep going. You know, when price reacts on my lines and I trade within those rules or within those lines and I stay within what's working, it works. It works great. If you are here listening, thanks for listening to me ramble. Yeah, I guess it was just, that transparency is very important for me, because on this channel, I'm trying to show it as realistic as possible, basically. And the reality is, it's not smiling out here in the street. It hasn't been, but we're gonna get the smile back, and we're gonna get back to where we need to be. So I'm awake looking at my profit and everything, and I'm seeing that I basically need 500 more to pass that 50K eval. Okay, right here. Looks like, oh, there was a lot of cutting. No, recording wasn't on, but yeah, I did end up taking a sell. And when I saw the opportunity on that candle as it was dropping, I entered a sell. And of course, price was yo-yoing around. I didn't like the price going up and down at first. I changed it back to numbers, to points. And then I ended up changing it back to price so I can know how much exactly I needed and where my CP was. If this kept pulling back all the way, I would have closed. I didn't want it to pull back too much. I was so sure that it's still dropping and it's still gonna drop, so I just basically held. And at this point, I was trying to calculate exactly how many points I thought I needed. In a second, you will see me pull up the calculator, trying to calculate how many points I thought I needed for this. And as I was trying to enter that in the calculator, TP, the $500 that I needed showed up on the screen. And I just went right there and closed the trade. As soon as I saw it, I was like, nope, close. And boom, that's it. We have passed this evaluation, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. Thanks for coming back. I'm back now. Win or lose, I'm gonna try to record and upload. So let's get this money. Subscribe. Bye, guys.